I don't like that. I do like that. More of this. Okay, give me a list of the best companies for this. As good as AI is, if you're going to make it work harder for the answer,
it's just going to find the easier route.
People are going to go to AI models, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, so on and so forth, and kind of brain dump. You want to be cited as the expert in that space.
AI search is changing how companies get found online. As Google overviews, AI-generated answers, and search engines become more common, businesses cannot rely on traditional marketing anymore. They need content that is clear, trustworthy, and useful enough to be chosen by both humans and AI systems. And that is huge, especially now. And it's just going to continue to get more and more with the AI answers because it's so different, like one prompt is completely different than searching in Google how you used to. You know what I mean? And there's so many different things that go along with that. You have to understand people's brains, how they work more, because you have to understand, hey, when someone is going to ask, a question to Google, it's going to be a simple, how do I do this? Or best companies for this. But with AI, it's entire, like they just brain dump. You know what I mean? It's like, I have a problem with this because of this. I need this solved. Like now I have 30 days to get this done. Like, you know what I mean?
By the way, here's a picture I'm uploading.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know? And how do you rank for photos that are being uploaded?
That is it. So
that's a really, that's a tangent.
Couple tactics, right? So some of those they'll be carryover from like the traditional SEO world, right? So if you think about even something as simple, actually, this is maybe a great use case real quick. As people are generating images on ChatGPT, Gemini, Nano Banana Pro, that sort of thing, right? But just like, I have this great image that I want to use on my website for ChatGPT, download, right? You'll notice if you look at the file name, it's going to say ChatGPT and then like a string of, unique reference, whatever, numbers and letters and stuff. That's a really good use case to be like, before you upload that as an asset on your website, wherever, rename that file.
Really?
Because it's going to render as ChatGPT. So if hey, this is going on a page for website design company, like whatever, well, rename that. Maybe put your company name in there, right? You could even just go to AI and look up the best practices for like naming files to help ranking. But that's actually, that sounds stupid, right? But that's important.
Yeah.
There's alt text, right? Like in an image describing it. That's increasingly becoming per like Google and I believe the LLM's kind of feedback that's more decorative. Like if the image for screen readers, people who have like a trouble seeing when they have a reader, it helps describe the image. If it's just decorative, you don't necessarily need to do it. Alt text was like a little bit more of a thing back in the day, but there's like some things like that to kind of optimize your images.
That's cool. So with that being said, welcome to the 5K5 listeners, and I am joined by Danny. Show me your mug.
Recently, I was like,
yeah, 5K branded. Yeah. Heck yeah. So this is Danny. You guys have definitely seen him before because he is a regular on the 5K5, as is really everybody. But I feel like you've been on the most.
Yeah, keep it up, dude.
Oh yeah, I mean you have some really good insights.
Thank you.
But so for the new listeners or someone who has not seen you ever in their life, just before,
which is very possible.
You have wicked hair.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
And your beard is looking good, dude.
I haven't had a beard in a while, guys.
I know.
So, if you're watching old 5K5s and you're like, who's the guy's older brother? It's not. It's me.
It's fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. And, but yeah, so what is your title and what do you love about your job?
I am the director of traffic here at 5K. So I oversee the SEO, EO world, content, organic traffic, and then the paid team as well. So people running Google ads, Meta ads, Bing ads, the whole 9 yards. Talking to clients, growing their businesses, that's what we do. And what I love about this is partnering with companies and seeing them actually grow.
Yeah.
And that's big for an agency, right? There's plenty of agencies doing as best they can, tons of agencies doing great work, right? But when you can find a growth partner who like can help you grow and prove it to you, that's the best. And the people that we have here are systems come and go, you improve, you evolve. The people I think are irreplaceable.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have gotten so lucky with the people who are on our team because they're all world class.
Well, can I say something quick too?
Yeah.
I know what you mean by this, but just for the listener, we had a client reach out to Dave, our CEO, recently and ask how what is his methodology for hiring creative people? Because he wants to learn to implement that. It's a client of ours. And so it's like lucky. Like, I totally know what you mean, but it's so top down, so to speak,
Yeah.
even though Dave kind of, wants to talk, everybody's a leader,
Yeah.
but it's so ingrained in the culture that like hiring is so intentional
Yes.
and the personalities and like what you can bring. Dave always talks about like, I want the right people in the bus and then we'll find the seats.
Yeah.
And for CEOs out there, people, like who run companies, entrepreneurs, that's a big one. Find the right people, man.
Yeah.
You can train people, but find the right people.
Oh yeah. And it's like you can only train someone so much if they don't have it in them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
If they don't want to be here,
exactly. Yeah.
we don't gossip at all.
Nope. Never.
No, there's no drama like that. There's nothing in that.
Other than if it's good gossip about Danny's hair.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I'm like, "Hey, Mark looks really, really good today."
Oh, thanks, bro. Yeah. But yeah, dude. So I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
We might not get through all of them, but I'm gonna ask them.
Okay.
So because you are director of paid traffic and SEO and all that, you can speak to this very, very strongly. First question: what should CEOs understand about how AI search is different from traditional Google search?
Yeah. I think that the key thing, and you kind of touched on it a little bit at the beginning, this is really good to seg into. So the key thing to understand is that when we talk about GEO, generative engine optimization, it's the generative component of it that's so important because you said people are going to go to AI models, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, so on and so forth, and kind of brain dump. These are the questions I have. This is the pain point. I'm having a conversation with it. I'm not that people don't do this, they do, but like, I'm not just going and saying like, best running shoes. I've been running for this long. This is like, whenever I get to mile 5, my
Yeah.
left foot hurts this way and my right ankle's bothering me. And like, by the way, here's like a screenshot of my Strava app and my time. And like, I don't know, maybe I took, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of this sort of stuff where like people can have a conversation kind of with an expert within the model because it's generative. So then it's supplying sources to them, information to them in real time.
Yeah.
They can go, I don't like that. I do like that. More of this. Okay, give me a list of the best companies for this, right? Back and forth. So it has expanded from just query searches of being like, what's the one keyword we want to rank for? And even SEO in years past has started to evolve past that from like the early days. And now it's getting into not just how do we rank, but how do we become the source that the LLMs, the large language models, cite so you can get in the running? So it's sometimes a little bit less of just like seeing links like this, although it'll do that. Sometimes it's putting a list of companies for you, but you want to be cited as the expert in that space and build that thought leadership, that authority, and that visibility. So that when somebody does click through, your citation's there, your site ranks. When I say citation, that's what I mean. But also they're not going to click. They might not click through all the time. I do that all the time. I'm building information.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? Ooh, the last 5 out of 6 times I did that, this company keeps appearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm going to go to their website.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I was just a quick example. I was getting new tires for my car. I have a performance car, so I wanted to get specific performance tires that I could, run on the street, run on the track, and also not slide off the road when it rains. And very specific. And yeah, I just kept seeing this one brand of tire, and I was like, you know what? I love those. It's not going to break the bank, but they're still very high quality. Let's go with those because like I saw it over and over again. I did my research and it's interesting. I made my decision before I even like went to their site, called them, like whatever. And so that's touch on that.
You know what it is I think one way to think about it and we'll talk about this, but when you can position yourself to be the trusted source that's cited in the AI models, it's almost like you're giving the AI model the ammo it needs to be the sales rep for you on the front end.
Dude, exactly, yeah.
Because it's helping qualify that person and get you in front of them so that they can come to you more prepared than they were. Whereas if you think about just searching in Google, there's more research and clicking through that people are doing and maybe putting in contact forms and like whatever, doing that sort of thing. You need to be visible in the LLMs because it's kind of doing some upfront like sales work for you.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure it speaks as positively about you as possible, it's as educational about your brand, your company, and it points people to the right spot.
Yeah, 100%. Now, if a business used to depend on SEO traffic, what should they be doing differently now to stay visible? And I see that tons of times where companies will, have most of their traffic come from SEO, but now it's all of a sudden changing.
Yeah.
So what should they do?
Coming from those blue links in Google, right? And probably if you're listening to this and you have access to Google Search Console or somebody on your team does, and you ask them to pull up last 3 months, year over year, you're probably going to see a drop in impressions.
Yeah.
And also likely a drop in clicks. Impressions is also kind of because of this other thing in Google, but So if you were relying on that, to make it really actionable, I was just putting together a plan for a client, and I was looking at their website. It hasn't been touched in a while. They came on. So scraped their whole website using AI in this repository we have 5KOS, which is great. Saved it in what's called Markdown files. You can look at the whole website, chat with it. It's just an awesome system.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find, like, in the first 3 months of work here, what's some of the low-hanging fruit on the website in addition to content we're going to be publishing for them? Here's a great use case. Like, okay, you used to rely on traffic coming from those blue links. Maybe there's some pages that ranked pretty well within Google, but man, that drop off because of the zero-click age, the AI overviews, people going to the AI models, we're losing traffic, and we don't seem to be appearing in ChatGPT or Perplexity when I search, right? Well, this one client in particular, one of the issues they had was they had some really great information on their website and actually some great case studies, which is gigantic.
Yeah.
Because the LLMs want to be able to pull out content chunks of real data to provide to people. That's what I think is interesting as we go more AI. We're also kind of going more human in what they're trying to do to serve people. But what the issue with this client's website was, all of that great information was, some of it was on this page, another one was in this page, some of it was buried really deep, another was in a blog post, an FAQ page. There wasn't one page that AI could crawl and find the answers really easily and surface in that generative response to the person searching. It had to try to synthesize. Well, as good as AI is, if you're going to make it work harder for the answer,
it's just going to find the easier route.
It's going to go with the person who has it better on their website, right? So what you're able to do with like a website audit is figure out all of that great content. Can we consolidate into one comprehensive FAQ page that answers all of the questions that our ICPs, our ideal customer profiles, typically ask?
Yeah.
And if so, boom, H2 header in the question, 2 to 3 sentences in bold, answer that question. Now, when people are searching for that question or variations of it, you have a much better chance of appearing there. And then there's so many, right? But to keep it short, if you're like, what's something actionable? If you have a marketing team you can task or talk to us, do a website audit, find if you have content scattered across your website, can we consolidate it and enhance it and track your visibility? I'm telling you, you're probably going to see an increase.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And that's so huge because so many companies now, they are still stuck in the old ways of how their website looks. How it looks, how it's formatted,
because
everything.
Maybe it was also doing well for them at a certain point.
Exactly.
So now I'm afraid to touch it. But like you said, but we're not getting the traffic that we used to. Play by the new set of rules, kind of. You got to just learn to evolve.
Yeah. So, okay, that brings me to my last question. How can a company become the kind of source that Google overviews or AI tools are more likely to reference? I think you touched on that a little bit answering the last question, but go more in depth on that. Like, what is an actionable step that these people who are listening can actually take right now?
Yeah.
And like, maybe if they want to do it by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, just, you know what I mean?
So some really actionable steps there to dig deeper into kind of where just the last point from that question is, so like a website audit would be great, but when you're thinking about structuring content, and what I mean by that is how you write the content.
Yeah.
Sometimes I use jargon because I'm in the industry, but I don't want to do that. Like when you think about what kind of content are we writing, how are we putting on the page and publishing it, if you can get real solid customer testimonials, put those on your website. Data. How many people have you helped? How long have you been in business? What makes your brand truly unique? We've served this industry for decades. We've been in business for 27 plus years and we've helped 1,300 people do XYZ, or we've scaled 67 companies and here's a testimonial that talks about that, right? When you talk about AI models, what they like, especially Perplexity, but other ones too, ChatGPT, Gemini, they want real data because I think that's what real people want. Have you actually helped people? Are there people like me that have benefited from it? Because I know this is, as I just get older and I have a house and a family and I'm doing stuff too, there's a certain sense of anxiety or trepidation that comes with wanting to make the right choice.
Yeah.
So when you think about writing content, can you get testimonials in there? Can you get real data? Can you actually position yourself as a real company with an author profile on your website that says this was written by John Smith, CEO of insert company or whatever, right? Real things like that. And I know that sounds simple, but if you're not doing that, you're not going to be in the running.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. I know you just did like an actionable step, but one super simple step that someone can take right like the second.
Go into Google Search Console if you have access, which you probably will, or somebody on your team does. And ask them to look at the top pages that are ranking and do an audit of even the top pages. because they might be getting most impressions or they might be getting the most clicks on your website, but that doesn't mean they have the best chance of ranking the AI models. Then rewind this episode with a little bit of the framework we spoke about, or read the blog post probably attached with it,
Mhm.
and see, hey, in these top 3 pages, they might be services pages or product pages or blog posts on your website. Is there something missing from what Danny and Mark just spoke about in this episode? And can we implement at least a couple things? Can we add a
Yeah.
testimonial? Can we add data? Can we add FAQs? Can we build out an FAQ page? Do something like that, and it's going to help you.
Awesome. Well, Danny, thank you so much for joining. Listeners, thank you for listening and tune in for the next one. Peace out.